Hello learners, Namaskar. I welcome you all in this live program of PME Vidya for senior secondary students of Library and Information Science. Today we will be talking about library and information science, library and information services for the users. In our last program, what we have covered is about the maintenance of the library material, importance of the library maintenance and maintenance functions, what are the types of materials, maintenance process, security about the libraries and their preservation and conservation problems. We talked about basically the maintenance of the library. Today we'll be talking about a very important part of library, that is library services. It is very important part of the library. When you are having a big library, good library, what important thing you have to do is to provide the services to its users. So what my presentation will be covering today will be talking about the what are the services, that will be introducing you to the services of the libraries. Then we'll talk about the what is the need and importance of these services. Then we'll talk about the services, types of services. We'll talk about essential services and desirable services. We'll identify and discuss various different types of services. We'll elaborate upon that how academic, special and public libraries are providing their services to their users, how different they are from each other. That's what we are going to talk about today. First of all, I will tell you why we need library services. That is why, because since long and since ages you all know that library has been storing the materials which enables us to gather ideas, knowledge and experience, which we can pass from one generation to another generation. Otherwise it won't be possible for all of us to have this knowledge gathered today and pass it on to another, till we don't have a place where everything is getting gathered up, where everything is not only stored but properly stored. When we build this kind of collection, tailored collection, it is important according to the goals of the library, according to the goals of the organization. Whatever kind of library you people are possessing, that kind of the material has to be there in the library, otherwise it won't be useful for them. For academic, what we say, the libraries build collection according to the students, then according to the teachers also and researchers also. Systematically we organize all this collection. This library collection is basically an important resource in education work. It creates and recreates millions of people. If libraries are there, that means the creation is going on and you can be recreational while using the libraries. Librarians, what is the part of the librarians here is that they will guide you to the collection. If you have a collection, you have a huge collection, multiple collection, but you don't know how to use it, the part of librarian becomes here that they will guide you, they will provide you assistance to the library, and they will make many ways, tools to support learning and the interests and the activities of the users. Whatever kind of interest you are working on, they will help you and they will assist you in achieving that activity. So that way librarians are there to guide you. That is why for us it is important to have services in the library. Services is one of the important things libraries do provide. So in this lesson, the lesson has been written according to the objectives, where we will be talking about the need or importance of the library services. We'll be talking about the essential and desirable services. We'll talk about the various essential services. Then we will elaborate upon the different services provided by the schools, colleges and academic libraries and public libraries. Need of the library. I need for the information. Why a library is a place where you keep everything there, but information is the thing which is present inside those documents, inside that library. So the information is crucial for all activities. We all know इसके बिना हमारा कोई काम चल नहीं सकता जब तक हम प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन ना प्रोवाइड कर पाएँ, चाहे वो स्टडी हो, रिसर्च हो, और परस्यूइंग योर करियर्स, हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स, रिक्रिएशन और lifelong learning. Whatever we learn, each day we learn new things. So there are the libraries where the information need is important. Students need information for the supplementing their books, textbooks. Usually what do? We have books, we read a lot of things, but we want to elaborate work on those books. So textbooks are there in your bags, but for the project works or for further studies, or if you want to know more, you are more inquisitive, for that you need more reading. For that purpose you will need a library. Teachers will need information for teaching purpose, for research purpose. Professionals, doctors, engineers, everybody in their life, whosoever want to pursue in their careers, would like to have information. That too an authentic information, which is most important thing. Planners and policymakers also need information to frame policies and to correct decisions. According to the need of the people, then only we make the policies. For that policymakers, for those planners, we need to gather the information which we can provide them. What kind of planning we do need nowadays. That way we are helping the planners and professionals also, policymakers also. Research needs information to remain updated in their area. That is where the library comes in between, because you will get the current information from the libraries. You get the updated information, regular information. Everybody cannot afford that much of finances as much a library can. So the most important information and latest information is always available in the libraries. So for the new researchers or solving a research problem, you always have to go to a library. For all these types of information, what there has been done, there has been a type of information need has been found out, that how many categories of information needs are, what are the requirements of the users. Then after that we have found out there are 4 kinds of people, who are 4 types of information needs of the users. That one is that the current information need, and then exhaustive information need, everyday information need, then you are catching up with the information needs. So these are the 4 types of information needs what everybody wants, or different type of users use it at different point of time. Current information means when you want to know anything or which is currently going on, and you want to update something, the latest developments what are happening in your area, or on a regular basis you want to keep yourself updated. Exhaustive information need, when a library user wants to have information on a particular topic as exhaustive as possible. Researchers mainly have this type of information need when they start a research work, that is exhaustive. Exhaustive means that they have a topic, they would like to gather the information on that topic, so you will be getting deeper and deeper into that information. While as in current information, we would like to know, like I wanted to know what are the current guidelines for the COVID today. So that was the thing for which I will refer to a newspaper and find out what are the guidelines given by the government nowadays. But if there is a research topic, that is an exhaustive information, so for that matter I need to go deeper into the information, that is exhaustive information. Then everyday information need is for the specific piece of information where users require day-to-day activities, whatever about the college admissions, school admissions, or whatever are happening, what kind of rules are there in the traffic. These are day-to-day activities, whatever we are facing every day, that is everyday information need. Other one is, fourth one is catching up information need. It arises when a user is not conversant with a particular subject field. Like I am a doctor and I wanted to know about the library science. I want to catch up a small thing about the library science. I wanted to know a little bit about the research. So what I will like to know, I will try to gather little bit information from the libraries, from the librarians, which will help me in catching up my point of view, where I am not going deep into the subject. It is just an overall development of the subject, short and compact form. It will help me in knowing about the thing which I was really wanted to know. Then we'll talk about the library services. To meet information needs of the users, libraries provide range of services. Range of service means there are different variety of services. One can be the reference service and another one is the information service. These are two important services what libraries are providing. Basically, you can say reference service is what every day we do go and ask a librarian about a small question and immediately you get the answer, or they will refer you to the place. This is dictionary, find out the meaning of this. Then we talk about something information, where the librarian or the person concerned sitting there will give you the information, proper answer to your question. So reference services are concerned with direct personal assistance. Like you came to me and you directly asked me a question, I will say directly, I will direct you to some assistance or to some tools in the library. I'll tell you, okay, you go to the catalog or you open the OPAC, you find out whether this book is there or not, or if you want the meaning of the word, I'll tell you go to this encyclopedia or go to this dictionary. That is kind of reference services. It is helping us searching and locating the documents. And you will ask me, is there any book on this subject? Yes, I will tell you, yes, go to this place, this number, you will find this. So it is a kind of search where I am referring you, or immediately I am directing you to the tools or to the documents where you can get the information. You have ready reference where you can have long range reference services and literature search. That is what reference services do. When you help in compiling a bibliography, helping in research, direct services such as selecting, organization and maintenance of the library material. Like you have come with a kind of problem, kind of question that you wanted to know, you wanted to compile a bibliography on that. What library can do? They can select, they can ask for the material wherever it is available. They will organize this material for you, whether it can be, they will be doing indexing for you, they will help you where to get the material and which material to refer. So that kind of way we will be compiling a bibliography. Reference section that way helps in compiling the bibliographies. We keep the record of the reference queries also, like FAQs are there. How do we create the FAQs? When usually people ask one kind of questions, one kind of reference queries are there. That way what you do, you will make a query, a record of queries, so you can answer them very easily. So publicity materials also are compiled for helping the publicity of the material. Then we are coming to the information service. Till now we were talking about the reference services, how we are providing references and what are the kinds of reference services we have. Now we'll be talking about the information services, which are provided in anticipation of various needs of users. Means I am anticipating that my user will come and they will, something is happening in the department, there is something going on NEP. So I have come to know that there people will be coming to me, they will immediately ask me something related to NEP. In that case, what I have to do, I have to keep myself prepared, and what I will be doing in this service, under this service, what we have: current awareness services, indexing and abstracting services. That is the information services. Difference between the reference service and information service. What is the difference? You will say the reference service is a kind of traditional service where you come and I'll answer your question, and information service is not a traditional service. Here I have to be ready with the answers before you will ask me. Here emphasis is on providing the document. Here there is no document, the proper information will be provided to the user. User is given material, whatever document you have asked, I'll give you the material. But here what you will be providing in information case, I will attempt to take out the information and give you the exact piece of the information. That is kind of information services what they are. Here we will be doing, it is you can say reference service is a passive kind of services, because here you don't remain ready for it. Whenever the question comes, whenever the person comes and asks you for things, you get it done same time. But in case of information services, it is an active service. You have to anticipate before only that maybe I will get this kind of question, I will be asked about this kind of document. So one has to be well prepared, well informed before the time comes, and we have to keep the information ready for the user. You have to give the updated information, whatever is going to happen in future. That's a kind of information services. Information services for the users is grouped into two types, that is responsive information services, also known as passive information services, where I told you like that only, that where you will come to me, I'll give you a response, you will request me and I'll give you the answer. And anticipatory services are those where I have to anticipate before, I have to be active before time, that what kind of anticipation, what kind of work is going around, what kind of things people are going to ask. That is anticipatory information services, where you are actively informed. It is an active kind of information. You have to provide the information which is available, but it has to be gathered before it is asked to you. Now what kind of questions you will have in this till now, what there will be reference service and information, difference between reference and information services, that's what we have been talking about. Here you will be providing a document, here you will not provide, here you will provide a proper bit of information whatever has been asked. Types of information needs are those current information needs or day-to-day information needs or exhaustive information needs. That is what is the answer for these questions. Basic or essential services rendered by all the libraries are what? This whole chapter is basically related to the services, only services. Services for the library is the kind of, you can say, main thing what libraries have to do. Otherwise there is no use of the libraries if you don't provide the proper services to your users. First thing is what everyone does, that is lending or circulation services. Then comes the related to it is reservation of documents. It is only when if someone has taken the document and someone else wants those, so you are reserving for the another person. Related to this only is the interlibrary loan, where if a document is not there with you, so you will try to get it from somewhere. So that is also related to the circulation services only. Assistance in the use of library and library tools, because the library is a huge thing, it's not always small. Documents are there enough and n number of documents are there. It's not easy for anyone to come and use and find out that there are tools which has to be taught. There are ways you have to teach the people how you will be using the library. That way it becomes convenient for them also to use the document, to take the services faster, to save the time. So we have to guide the users. Then comes the reference services also. Then there is reader advisory service and library orientation. In both the programs, what do? You orient, you advise people to your users that how you will be using the library, what kind of documents the library is having, what kind of services library is providing, what kind of research work we are doing, or what kind of help we will be going to give you in future. The first thing what we will be talking about is the lending service, that is circulation. Circulation is, everybody knows that it is a part of the library. Without it, library cannot survive. Whatever books, whatever documents, whatever magazines, journals, whatever you have to give it for lending. That is circulation. Circulation means when it goes, it comes back, then another person takes it, then it goes again, that it keeps on going in circles. So it is a circulation for the library persons. Otherwise, it is a lending. Every particular library has its own rules, like whatever we give tickets to people, or we have a automatic system. every library has their kind of system set up for the lending of the services, and academic and special and public libraries all have lending, but it depends then how they will be lending. With they have their own rules and regulations, because a rule cannot be same with the academic library and a public library, because the clientele is different, because the usage is different, and the people who are using the library are different. You have to be having different rules and regulations according to your own organization. Some libraries have issue return, which is handled manually. Usually in schools, what do? We will handle it manually. On registers also we used to do, but now the ticket system has also been developed where you provide the tickets, and then there is basically automatically computerized services are also there, where you will issue and return in the software, where you can see sometimes the RFID technology is there. People can issue themselves also. They can come to know that whether the book is available there or not, and when can I take it. I can put a request for this book. This all can happen in the softwares. Then reservation of the document is also part of it only. If you have come for an document and it is very important to you, if it has been taken by someone, so you can reserve it for you in the user's name. The book, whenever the document, either book or magazine, journal or an article, whatever has been there, for it will be reserved, and the first thing will be given, it will be given to the person who has reserved it in their name. Interlibrary loan is also, all the libraries cannot afford everything, because the budget is always constrained for every library. You cannot buy each and everything, and there is no fun in even buying everything. Whatever we have purchased, we can circulate it among ourselves only, among the same interested libraries where the people can use them. So for that matter, what we do is interlibrary loan. Like NIS is having an interlibrary loan facility from Delnet, so developing library network. What do? We give them the database, we share our database with them, they share their own databases with us, and more so you can say 7,000, 8,000 libraries have come together, and everyone is sharing their database. If I want a book, I can order there, I can request them, they will send me the book. So we can read it within time, stipulated time, 10 days, 15 days, or whatsoever has been given to me. I'll be sending it back to the library, back to Delnet, and Delnet will be sending it back to the library. That way we are saving a lot of money also, energy also, and the document is also available for everyone. That much choice is also available there. Then comes to the assistance to the use of the library tools. You all know that without any directions, nobody will be able to use any kind of library. So readers need directions, guidance. They need to know what is the general layout of the library, location of the newspapers, where they have been kept, where the magazines are there on the display, what is the location of the textbooks, reference books, what is the availability of the catalog, opaque system. These all are the assistances which we give to our users. Reading room facility has to be there, and where are the reading room facility for books, and where is the reading room facility for the periodicals, and where are those standard reference books kept which can be stacked there. There are the guides which we help them, and professionally we help them through the computers. Through OPAC also you can see the location of the book. You can help them through that tool also. Then comes the reference service. What is reference service? Librarian may utilize resources whatever are there in the library, as well as whichever are available in other libraries also. Depending upon the user's requirements, librarian can give information containing itself in the document or containing in the document. That is, whatever information is inside the document, that is what I was talking about before this. What is the reference and what is information need? Both are different. Here you can provide the document, but in this case you have to provide the proper information. This reference service has been divided, has been given two things, that is ready reference services, long range reference services. A ready reference service is that where you will ask me a question and immediately it will be answered. And long range reference service is kind of query where you will be asking me for the question, but it will take a while, a little time for me to find out things, to go deeper into the things and find out and take out the answer for your query. Like here, a ready reference service is how I have shown it in the graph. It is in your book also. Like you are asking something related to language, then you are asking something which is really available in a dictionary. Asking a word, I can direct you to the dictionary. Then you are asking something about another thing which is available in the encyclopedia. Asking about another question which is available in the yearbook. Like that, only these are all ready reference services. We'll come back after taking a short break. Thank you.
प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम पढ़े और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना
होती है छोटी छोटी, चलो ठीक है। Hello learners, welcome back to this PMV Vidya live program for Library and Information Science. हम अभी तक जो बात कर रहे थे, हम कह रहे थे रेडी रेफरेंस सर्विस और शॉर्ट रेंज रेफरेंस सर्विसेज में क्या होता है। रेडी रेफरेंस सर्विसेज में हम लोग जो यूजुअली इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल के देते हैं, डिक्शनरी, एनसाइक्लोपीडिया या एल्मनाक हो गया है, या इस तरह की जो भी बिब्लियोग्राफिकल डाटा होता है वहाँ से निकाल के दे देते हैं आपको। और जो लॉन्ग रेंज रेफरेंस सर्विस है, इसे हम शॉर्ट रेंज रेफरेंस सर्विस कहते हैं, जहाँ पर कि हम आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा और मैंने एकदम से इमीडिएटली जवाब दे दिया। इसके बाद होती है लॉन्ग रेंज रेफरेंस सर्विस। लॉन्ग रेंज रेफरेंस सर्विस में आप क्या करते हैं, आपने किसी इन्वेंशन के बारे में पूछा है या वो कुछ ऐसा हैपन हो रहा है किसी भी फील्ड में, आप समझ लीजिए किसी भी फील्ड में, आप साइंस में समझ लीजिए, लाइब्रेरी क्लासिफिकेशन में, कहीं पर भी आपने किसी ऐसी चीज़ के बारे में पूछा कि किस तरह की जो है न्यू डेवलपमेंट्स है। तो so what I need to do there is I have to gather the information, consult many sources, then I will make a list of them, then I'll see how authenticated they are, then ultimately I'll be providing it to you, a bibliographical data to you, so that you will be able to read it, go through it, it will help you in your research. That is long range reference services. Then comes the advisory reference services, advisory reader advisory services. What are these reader advisory services? Here you will help the readers in your selecting a book, educational or recreational purpose. Whatever person has come to you for an advice that I want to read something, I am feeling bored, or I wanted to do something, I wanted to do a startup, I want to do something like that, इस तरह के किसी क्वेश्चन के साथ आए हैं वो, then you will guide them, what you will advise them, go and read this book, go and read this author, because you already know that there are authors which have been used by other people who have been using them many times, so that way you are recreation, you can help them in the recreational purpose also. This service is offered in schools and पब्लिक लाइब्रेरीज। ज़्यादातर जो स्कूल में बच्चों को ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ती है, या पब्लिक लाइब्रेरी में whenever people come and ask you for this type of questions. But what one has to do basically, you can say, since childhood, if we will develop a positive attitude towards reading, towards libraries, that will help us in every stage, that will help us in gathering that, inculcating the habit of reading, which will help in lifelong learning. You can say if there is nothing, if you read a book and you feel good about it, so you are basically saved from 10 other those things which will create stress for you, which will unnecessarily, you will not be able to manage your time or something like. Then reading is a good habit. So if you have an attitude for reading and liking the libraries, it is going to help you lifelong. Library orientation is also a program which is always done इन मेनी लाइब्रेरीज। ज़्यादातर तो ये हम लोग बिग लाइब्रेरीज में करते हैं लाइब्रेरी ओरिएंटेशन। इट इज़ मेंट फॉर द यूजर्स वेयर वी इनिशिएट अ प्रोग्राम फॉर स्टूडेंट्स वेयर न्यू स्टूडेंट्स कीप ऑन कमिंग। जैसे यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में न्यू स्टूडेंट्स विल कम एवरी ईयर, कॉलेजेस न्यू स्टूडेंट्स विल कम एवरी ईयर। देयर यू हैव द वैल्यू फॉर दिस लाइब्रेरी ओरिएंटेशन programs. There what you will do, these programs, you will facilitate general rules, what are the rules of the library, regulations of the library, you will give them the reference services, you will show them how to use the catalog. Physical catalogs used to be there, now that there are not physical catalogs, then you can show them the what are the how we are issuing the books and what kind of material is there in the library. That is how we orient our users. Orientation programs, usually what they do, they will introduce you to the library. It can be done in many ways, like you will give a lecture also, you will gather people at one place and your users, then you can lecture them also and tell them okay, we will have a tour. Even it can be a virtual tour also in your library, that here we are keeping this number is meant for this book, this number is meant for this tool is how you will be reaching to this document. So this is kind of, or you make a small brochure, then you distribute that brochure among those users, students, then they can go through. In that brochure you will see the libraries having this much of documents, this much of books. In Hindi it is this much, science it is this much, and which books are available there, which you can go through OPAC. There they will tell you how to open the OPAC and how to search there on the OPAC. And or it can be a kind of recorded message which can be sent or shared with your users, so they will come to know the users of the library and how to use the library, which is an important service. Questions till now will be that what are the basic and essential services provided by the libraries? Everybody does that. Essential services are the circulation services, which are interlibrary loan or documentation services. Lots of services are there in that. What is reference service? Where you refer the people, refer to the document. Where you will ask me a question and immediately I'll refer you to the document. Reader advisory services. Why are they provided? Because they will help all your students, learners, everybody users to use the library very well. It will not, they will not be spoiling their time in finding the things, because you have already given them a directions that how to use the library. That's what. Then what comes the need for the desirable services. Till now we were talking about the services which were important. Then there are some desirable services also. Then you can say, why are these desirable services important for the libraries? Because you can say after the World War II and 20th century, there has been tremendous increase in the research products activities, and which has really given growth to a lot of material, and this material has grown exponentially. Then so this published literature is mostly in science and technology, and to find an answer to your query among these many documents, it is not possible for a single person to go and find out the things, because the government will have these projects and there will be a hell of documents which are coming out on every topic every day after this, because this is the research we have to keep on doing. So but whenever you want to know about the things, particular thing about it, so for that matter you will need a librarian where desirable services are given, which will help you to take out the required amount of information which is needed by you particularly. Interdisciplinary subjects also have created kind of chaos, you can say. Primary periodicals are there, a lot of dictionaries, dissertation, patents, like primary material is there, hell lot of primary material is there, which becomes difficult for us to search. In that case, what we do, we create the secondary material, which will lead us to the primary material. If we have 100 newspapers, but in secondary what we will see, we'll see the name of the newspaper, and there will be a document which will be kept ready by the library. There you can see what kind of information you want to go, and you will see in the particular kind of newspaper, magazine or journal. Information services which are provided in anticipation of the demands of the users are current information service and current awareness services and conducive services which were offered. Demands for reprographic services, document delivery services, translation services, these are also among the services which are desirable services. Every library is not giving this kind of services. Like I said before, that when we were talking about the circulation, then that is an important part which every library does. But these kind of services, reprographic services, document delivery services, translation services, or referral services, ICT related services given by the libraries to its users, that is not given by every library. That is a kind of where you are saying these are the services which are provided, which are desirable services. in these desirable services what we have current awareness है, condensation है, then literature search है, reprographic है, document delivery, translation services, referral services, user training and IT related services are there. So one by one we'll talk little about the current awareness service. Current awareness service is like we are getting all the newspapers, magazines, journals in the library, and every 15 days what we will do, we'll take out a list of the journals, magazines, newspapers have come in this fortnight or week. We'll take out the list and we'll distribute it among all our users. So they will come to know this is the thing which has come to the library. Earlier what we used to do a physical copy of this used to be done. But now it's not the physical copy, you can get it made from your software, you can get a report downloaded from your software. There it will tell you these are the magazines, these are the issue, these are the journals which have come. So you can give current information to your people. Current awareness services, what all we provide to the users, that is accession list. If library has purchased 100 books today or 5 books or 10 books, we'll be entering them in the software. What they will do, that can be shared with the users. Otherwise even users will go to the software, there also they can find out that these are the new books which have come between this month, between these months, these days. Then current awareness list, then title announcement services is also there. This is the new title which we have received in the library. Contents of journal services, which I was saying that what we will do, we used to take the content page of the journals, we'll take a photocopy of them and compile all the journals together and give it to everyone. Now we don't need to do, we have a soft copy of the journals, in that you can use the contents also and you can use it and you can share that particular. Here I am doing at random, whatever journal magazines have 100, 200, 500 come in the library and I am sharing it with anyone, that is CAS. And selective, here I am doing particular kind of information service, that is you have asked me something in particular, that is you have asked me something in education, then in special education. So what I will be doing, I will be looking into the education part of journals, then into the special education. So we will be taking those journals, those books only, will be selective dissemination of information. Then comes the newspaper clipping service, which every library has their own kind of information services. If a library wants whatever kind of newspaper clippings, like our library is usually doing it related to education and related to our NIS organization. So whatever news comes related to education, whosoever is writing, so we make a clipping of it in soft and hard copy in both ways, so we distribute that also. That is newspaper clipping services. Condensation service is like kind of abstracting service, you can say. In this service what you do, you will read the content of the document, then you will condense it, you will summarize it into smaller document, so that what people don't need to go from 10, 20 pages, 50 pages, they don't have to read it. It will be condensed into 100 words or 200 words, and that way, but it must have all the essential information. Whatever is written in that document has to be brought into this condensed information. So sometimes what happens, this condensed kind of information becomes more important than the main document, because what, लोगों को जल्दी पढ़ने के लिए और जल्दी से 10 डॉक्यूमेंट्स को they have to go through 10 documents, what they will do, they will try to see into this condensed information, that is this abstracts, they will read and they will find out whether this is relevant for us or not. If it is relevant, keep it away separate, though they can read the main document. So this is a kind of very important service. Then is literature search, compiling and subject bibliography. What do we do in the literature search? What do we do is that there is already kind of information available in the library, but when you come with your own problem, your own some title that I want this kind of information, what I have to do, I will be going through for that particular kind of problem, I'll be going through and finding the information related to that topic. As much possible for me, I will be trying to find the literature search, I'll be doing it, then later on we'll be compiling it into a bibliography. So it becomes a kind of very important service for the, because you don't have to go the whole lot of information. You will be getting a compiled, condensed kind of information where you will be knowing the tools, how I have to reach this book, how I have to get this article, what is the name of the article, and more so the abstract is also given there, so you can read the abstract also. This is a very important service. Subject bibliographies are also made like that only, where you will give the according to the problem you have been asked to work on it, you will make a list of the documents of the particular subject, whatever you have been asked to do. So you will make related to that subject and provide to the user. It can be kind of gist only, or it can be comprehensive also, the way you want it. Reprographic services, like you say, you have to reproduce the documents. Mostly libraries have their own photocopier machines, and what they do, they can scan the document and send the document, or you can take a photocopy of the document. And earlier they used to microfilming also used to be done, and to provide the document in smaller formats so that it is not becoming very heavy. Now so you can scan the document and send it. That is reprographic services. Mostly reprographic services in libraries, we used to have a nominal cost where it can be paid. In colleges, universities, still there are photocopier machines are kept where the nominal cost 10, 20, 50 paisa will be paid per copy, so that you can take the photocopy of the documents, bigger documents, which can be used later on for yourselves. Now because of the digitization, things have become different, because you don't need to carry this much of paper, you don't need to have this much of photocopier or something. You can get a scanned copy of the things and take it on your mail and read it. That's how you do it. Then comes the document delivery services. How do you do this service? This is very important service, but done by the research organizations, not by the school libraries or departmental libraries. Here anybody, irrespective of the location, if you ask for a document, if I need a document, my user wants a document here, so I can ask it from any part of the corner, wherever it is available on interlibrary loan, or we can pay them on this documentation. They will search for the document and they will provide me with the document. Nowadays this can be sent through the email to you. You don't need to pay for the cost for the delivery charges are not there, because it will be paid to you directly through your mail. That's how you do the document delivery services. Earlier this document delivery services was done by the InflipNet and the NISCARE, which is the example which is given in your book. Now you can say document delivery has also become easier because of the digitization. You can scan a book and send it, mail it. It's not difficult, but the service is always a service, because you have to find the document, you have to scan the document, you have to send him the person on the mail, and there will be n number of people who will be waiting for such services. So it is a kind of service which needs a lot of time also, and a lot of devotion also to find the document. Then comes the translation service. Usually this translation service is not the job of the library, but usually there are documents which come in some other language and you have to translate them. For that matter, there is in organizations there are units which are providing the translation services, but libraries can also have a database of the people who are translating from one language to another. Those databases can be used, because the person should have the knowledge of the two languages, in the language in which the document is, in the language you want to translate. The translation service is also very important service, because a document whatever, if you want it is in Japanese language, you cannot change it, so for you it is zero. If you have a ability to get it translated, but now also there are changes in the translation services also. You can ask Google also, main 80% translation you will get it from there also. This is the example of the translation who is doing earlier. This Niscare was also doing translation services. They have a unit which is attached to the library. For all the foreign languages, they can do the translation for you. Then comes the referral services. Referral services are basically, you are in this case, you are referred to the organization, to the libraries, when you don't have a document which you have been asked. It is not present in your library, so what you will do, you will refer it to the other library and you will get from their sources, you will be getting the required information, you will getting the whatever is available with them, they will be providing it to you, and individual or organization or whosoever is there, that way it's not always important that you are getting it from the some library only. It can be any individual also whom you will be referred, and they can provide you the information and you will be getting the proper information what you wanted. That is the referral services. User education programs, we talked why user education programs are important, because here you will be talking about your library, your tools, you will be instructing them what are the programs and what we are using and how we are keeping our libraries. That's about the user library programs. Then we'll talk little bit about the which are IT related services. IT related services are where you will know about the OPAC, library websites and virtual services, computerized circulation services and access to e-publications. These are the services which has been related to the IT. OPAC is web OPAC for everyone. If a library website is available there, you will see library website will give you lots of things, which it will provide with lots of things which you will not be able to get otherwise. So because it is available online, you can go and find it. The virtual reference services, you can talk one-to-one and get the answers for your FAQs or whatever are your queries. Computer circulation is RFID. I was talking about you that here you can issue and return yourself. You can do a lot of things. You can see reserve your books. E-publications are the publications where you can get access to the library and check your e-publications, read them, download them. That is all about the IT related services what we are giving to. Then there are the services which school libraries are providing, college libraries are providing, university libraries, public library and special library. Here I will tell you in short that every library has special kind of service to provide, because school children are different than college people and university needs are different than a public library, and special library has always different needs. So services we have to provide according to the needs of a library. You will read in your chapter, you will see that all the services are totally different which are provided by schools or which are provided by the colleges, special libraries and public libraries. That's all about the chapter today. So we came to know how important is our library services, or what are the libraries which are providing you so many services, and why it is important for all of us to provide library services to its users. Otherwise library is of no use basically. If you are not providing the services to your users and your library is not being used to the optimum, then there is no use of the library. Thank you so much. Hope you must have understood the chapter thoroughly. See you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने,
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना